The story of Zaccheus in Jericho meeting Jesus, climbing the sycamore tree. He was too small, trying to get a look at Jesus. It's one of those stories that I think probably stays with a lot of us from childhood. It's certainly one that I remember from childhood and used to like. The images that came into my mind, the pictures that you could draw of this little man climbing a tree. The thing is that I used to think of this story as a story about conversion, a story of this great sinner suddenly coming to salvation and suddenly experiencing this great transformation in his life. What I've learned is that, in fact, it's not a story about that at all. When Zaccheus says to Jesus, I'm going to give half my money to the poor, he's not actually saying I'm going to give. He's saying, I give half my money to the poor. And if that weren't enough, because he's a wealthy man, we're told this, he also says, if I've wronged anybody, if I do wrong anybody, I make reparation. I sort that out by paying them 4 times what I owe. That's not just giving them money back that they owe because something's gone wrong in a transaction where he's been collecting taxes. That's actually going to the full extent of the demands of the law, that he give 4 times the amount. So what we're actually learning about Zaccheus is that he is a man of great justice, and that also he's somebody who has a healthy relationship with his possessions. He has a healthy relationship with his wealth. We heard earlier in Luke's Gospel about a young man who was lovable, a young man who kept the law, a young man who was probably perceived by others to be somebody who was righteous. And yet what we found with him was that when he was asked to give up that one thing, his wealth, his possessions, and really commit to Christ, he couldn't do it. He went away sad. So this gospel is telling us so many things about salvation, and it's telling us about truth as well. Because as far as other people were concerned, Zaccheus was bad. They weren't interested in the facts, they weren't interested in the truth. They were just interested in the fact that his occupation in life as a tax collector made him bad. He was an outcast. He wasn't somebody who belonged to the chosen people of God. I wonder if any of us experienced all the facts of our life being laid bare. I wonder if we experienced a kind of headline exposure and all these facts were laid before us. I wonder, would that change people's opinions of us? It probably would. Probably in most cases, if people knew absolutely everything there is to know about us, all the facts, it would probably lead to us being in some way ostracized, put outside of what might be the chosen people, people considered to be righteous, people considered to be good. But would that be the truth? Would it be the truth? Because what we hear in this gospel is that people know facts, but they don't know the truth. The facts that they know are that Zaccheus is a tax collector. The facts that they know are perhaps that tax collectors are notoriously corrupt. But is that the truth? No. So what is the truth? The truth is that Jesus announces salvation for all. That's the truth. And Zaccheus joyfully welcomes Jesus. So when Jesus says salvation has come to this house today, he's not saying Zaccheus has suddenly been converted. What he's saying is to those people around him, because it's more of an announcement for them rather than for Zaccheus. He's saying Zaccheus is as much chosen as anybody else, as much saved as anybody else. And you are witnesses now to the fact that this is a righteous man. You've heard some more facts for you to change your opinion, but most importantly, what they've heard is the truth, that salvation is announced to all. Very often we're crushed by the facts of our own lives. Very often we're crushed by what we think the truth is. Very often we're crushed because we hear what other people think about us because of certain facts they've come to know about us. But it's not the truth. Those facts may in themselves be true. They may be factual. They may have happened. They may be evidence for them. But they're not the greatest truth about you and me. The greatest truth about you and me is that Jesus Christ has announced salvation to us. And what we need to do is to joyfully welcome him. First of all, we have to go searching for him. We have to climb some trees to really be able to see him in the midst of us. And in that searching, we realize he's already been looking for us. And not only is he looking for us, not only does he announce this message of salvation from a distance, he says, I want to come and live with you. I want to come and lodge with you. So we need to search for him. We need to joyfully welcome him, and we need to allow him to live with us so that every single day, every single moment, what we hear and are lifted by is the truth that we are saved and not crushed by the facts of our history or even our present. And the more we hear that message of truth, that we are saved and that Jesus wants to make his home with us, regardless of the facts, Jesus wants to make his home with us. The more we hear that, the more we believe that, then the more the facts of our lives, the actions of our lives, the thoughts of our lives, the things that we do and who we become, becomes more and more that truth. That we're people who live out in every part of our lives that truth, that salvation has come to us.